Brer Rabbit comes to dinner. It took Brer Fox a while to recuperate, but that gave him a lot of time to scheme and plan on how he was going to get Brer Rabbit. The very first day Brer Fox was up and about, he sauntered down the road. Coming toward him, looking as plump and fat as a Christmas turkey, was Brer Rabbit. "Just a minute there," Brer Fox said as Brer Rabbit started to walk past without speaking. "I'm busy," said Brer Rabbit. "I'm full of fleas today and got to go to town and get some ointment." "This won't take more than a minute," Brer Fox answered, falling into step beside him. "All right, what's on your mind?" Brer Fox gave a sheepish grin. "Well, Brer Rabbit, I saw Brer Bear yesterday, and he said I ought to make friends with you. I felt so bad when he finished with me that I promised I'd make up with you the first chance I got." Brer Rabbit scratched his head real slow-like. "All right, Brer Fox, I believe Brer Bear got a point. To show you I mean business, why don't you drop over to the house tomorrow and take supper with me and the family?" Next day, Brer Rabbit helped his wife fix up a big meal of cabbages, roasting ears, and sparrowgrass. Long about supper time, the children came in the house, all excited, hollering, "Here come Brer Fox!" Brer Rabbit told them to sit down to the table, mind their manners, and be quiet. He wanted everything to be just right. So everybody sat down and waited for Brer Fox to knock on the door. They waited a long time, but no knock came. "Are you sure that was Brer Fox you saw coming up the road?" he asked his children. "We sure. He was drooling at the mouth. No mistake, that was Brer Fox." Brer Rabbit got out of his chair very quietly and cracked the door open. He peeped one of his eyeballs out. He rolled his eyeballs from one side of the yard to the other until they stopped on a bush that looked like it was growing a fox's tail. Fox's tail? Brer Rabbit slammed the door real quick. Next day, Brer Fox sent word by Brer Mink that he had been low down sick the day before and was sorry he couldn't come. To make up for it, he'd sure be pleased if Brer Rabbit would take supper with him that very same evening. When the shadows were at their shortest, Brer Rabbit went over to Brer Fox's. He'd scarcely set one foot on the porch when he heard groaning from inside. He opened the door and saw Brer Fox sitting in his rocking chair, a blanket over his shoulder, looking like death eating soda crackers in the graveyard. Brer Rabbit looked around and didn't see any supper on the stove. He did notice the butcher knife and roasting pan on the counter, however. "Looks like you planning on us having chicken for supper, Brer Fox," says Brer Rabbit like nothing was wrong. "Sure enough," says Brer Fox. "You know what goes good with chicken, Brer Fox?" "What's that?" "Calamus root. Seems like I can't eat chicken no other way nowadays." And before Brer Fox could blink, Brer Rabbit was out the door and into the bushes, where he hid to see if Brer Fox was sure enough sick. A minute later, Brer Fox come out on the porch, looking as healthy as a rat in a tuxedo. Brer Rabbit stuck his head out of the bushes and said, "I'll leave you some calamus root right here, Brer Fox. You ought to try it with your chicken tonight." Brer Fox leaped off the porch and took off after Brer Rabbit, but that rabbit was halfway to Philly, New York, before Brer Fox's claws touched the ground. all Brer Fox had for supper that night was an air sandwich.